All right, so we're going to be putting in a bunch of vegetables, some winter vegetables here in our raised bed square foot garden. What we've used before has been this, for our trellising has been this what we've used for this has been our like white nylon netting, and instead, you know, I had some of this I don't even know what they call this stuff, my goodness. I used it to line the edge of the orchard, that whole fence up there when we put it in, to keep the dogs in and keep the kids in. And so we're using that. That's going to be a lot more durable. I'm going to fasten it to the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the distance across, and then this is 5 feet tall, and so it's going to give just maybe about 3-4 inches of clearance at the bottom. And that's going to allow me to put this kind of trellis all the way, this kind of netting all the way across in one big thing instead of cutting out individual panels for each of these individual things. Now, I constructed these with conduit, electrical conduit. There's obviously no power running through it, but what it does is, yeah, it's held up really well. I think it's been out here for like 5 years, no signs of rust or anything like that. So really, really helpful. And there's a bunch of our soil to refill what we've got here, and some amendment stuff to fill in what's gone out, some of the organic material. So I was using this nylon netting stuff, which is just not durable. The thing is the sun beats up on it, and rather than coming out and changing it every year, I think this stuff is going to be a lot more durable. It'll be easier to see where it fails, probably easier to fix it if we need to. Just tie it with a couple of zip ties if need be, than going and replacing, because you never know, all of a sudden you've got a whole trellis full of like cucumbers or melons or something, and the whole thing fails because it's been out in the sun for too long, and you don't know till the whole thing comes crashing down. So I'm looking forward to some good results with these. Okay, so what I've done here is you'll probably see it's stretching across the span here. It's a little wavy. I was reusing this and it was not rolled up perfectly when I had it stored up in the orchard. But in the meantime, I've done these zip ties, which will work to hold it in the meantime. What I might come back and do is grab some galvanized, not wire, well, cable. No, not cable, wire, whatever it is. It's like solid core, that 10 gauge stuff that I use for some other trellising up in the orchard for berries. But this should hold pretty well. Now you notice that down here there's a little bit of a gap. Maybe you can see that. There's a maybe 5 or 6 inch gap right here, which is going to, we're going to have to just be aware of training the plants onto that. But this is I'm really looking forward to having this up for years to come. So something else that I'm doing is going through with my my Wireman's little deal here, pliers, and I'm rounding off all of these thick cut edges. Since we've got young kids here, and even me as we're working in here, I don't want to get zapped by one of these sharp things. They're really sharp and they hurt a lot. So that's one other advantage of having one giant long panel instead of many panels going across, is that I have less of these to round over. So here's an example. What I'm doing is I'm coming up to this, I'm grabbing it, kind of grabbing it about halfway, and then I'm rotating it back. So that way I get a bend, and then I'm using this to just pinch it into a rounded part. It's kind of weird doing this so entirely one-handed and trying to keep it in focus, but you get the idea. Oh boy. All right, there we go. Totally rounded off, not gonna poke anybody, and that's how I'm gonna do it all the way down. So as you can see here, we got up this trellis material and have it zip tied along the top. I may again come back with some wire and tie that down with something that's metal to make it last extra long. But it looks really good, really uniform, and I think it's going to give a really weather-resistant, long-lasting way for these plants to climb up and develop on this trellis.